We are here in Dyrford Village. We have just picked up the grieving mother, added her to the party. She's a cipher, so she's probably not going to be in the party for very long, but
All right, then.
I just wanted to have her around for a while. So we're looking around Dyrford Village. We're still exploring the village. I was trying to decide before I hit the start record button whether to stay around the village or just head up to the ruins. We're supposed to go to Cleaban Relag. I've already forgotten how to pronounce that. But I'm a little worried that it's going to be too hard for me. My party is level 7. But it occurs to me that, I would have to stay around the village for a long time to get to level 8, so... Trigill's Curriery is the name of this building here. So we might as well just head up there and see what we see. There's a Kickstarter NPC, house guards. We'll work on the village quests later on. Let's head... Oh, we gotta go through Dyrford Crossing first. Let's stay around the village. I changed my mind. Never mind. Let's stay in the village. Let's look for the guy's daughter. Lady Elise has disappeared. Hendina told me she saw Elise talking with Trigill. We just passed Trigill's shop. Let's go to the Trigill's shop. Of course, she was in Trigill's shop because she was looking for medicine because she was feeling ill, quote unquote. Perhaps she was looking for a certain kind of seed. We'll talk about this later. Get back to the dyes. I'll take care of our customer. I've interrupted your conversation. I'm sure it wasn't important. Hello, Mr. Trigill.
How do you do?
A sturdy, broad-shouldered man wipes his hands on his slacks. He reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats, and his arms are stained with dye. You looking to purchase some leather? Actually, I'm here to ask about Elise Herond. What can you tell me about her? He shrugs. Only that her father's men have been banging down doors and stirring up trouble looking for her. I never met her myself. Hendina said you two had met. He folds his arms, the smell of tallow and animal dung wafting off of him. Did she now? And what else did she say? Well, she saw the two of you talking. What was it about? Her father's dragged her out here to get hitched to some backwoods noble. She wanted an escape, all right, and I was happy to give it to her. We snuck across the river a few nights ago for some private time. Come to find out, we weren't exactly alone. An ogre taller than Nyfre's tail sprung out of the forest, and we were so lost in the heat of the moment we didn't notice it until it was upon us. Wait a second. This is getting weird. It grabbed Elise and disappeared into the night before I could even pull my britches up. Wait a second. Don't take this the wrong way, Trigill, but this shop smells like an outhouse. Am I really to believe that a lord's daughter snuck into the woods with you? Trigill's hand drops to his axe. Watch it. That's the first time I've heard an Orlan complain about anyone's smell. I meant no offense. I'm just trying to find her. Just tell me what really happened. I don't repeat myself, not for you and not for some noble's toadies either. He wipes his dye-stained hands on his trousers and turns back to his work. So, you're telling me that she wanted out of a marriage so badly that she had a little fling with some random dude who smells like leather, smells like a tannery, in order to get pregnant so she wouldn't have to go through with getting married. That's what you're trying to tell me, Mr. Trygill. Trygill claims that an ogre took Elise somewhere near the Bale River, east of Dyrford. While I had a hard time believing she snuck away with him, there may still be some clues in the wilderness. Well, I was gonna go that way anyway. I didn't really want to go looking around the wilderness, though. Alright, what else can we do around here? There was some other task. We're supposed to find... So we need to look for dragon eggs in Dyrford Crossing. Looks like all roads are going to take me to Dyrford Crossing. And we're also looking for Nyfre, who is somewhere in Dyrford. Let's ask the shopkeeper if she knows Nyfre.
Good day to you.
Hello, Hendina. I'm looking for an Orlan named Nyfre. Have you seen her? Well, I did see an Orlan lady headed into the Dracogen just the other day. She points across the road at a large building. Don't know what her name was, but she was acting real sneaky-like. Okay, thank you. Hendina told me that an Orlan woman stopped at the Dracogen Inn not long ago. And that's this inn over here that we were in not too long ago. You know, well, never mind. I was going to say something about, you know, one thing I have noticed repeatedly in this game, it does seem to be a very sort of male-centric sort of a viewpoint for most things in this game. I have noticed that. I mean, if anyone were going to criticize this game on that score, I could see where that criticism would come from. But I mean, it's not.
Well met, friend.
It's not like in your face or anything. It's just sort of a that just seems like the kind of a story thing that a dude would write. It doesn't. It just kind of seems that way. Anyway. The innkeeper digs inside a mug with a dirty rag. His eyes under his thick brows are tired but watchful. He gives you a quick nod as you approach the bar. I say that because of this whole thing with Elise and, the noble's daughter and the damsel in distress and blah, blah, blah. It's just it's definitely the kind of story that a dude would come up with. A dude of an age roughly around teenager age. is what it sounds like to me. But anyway, the barkeep, Dingler. Don't see many travelers these days. Something I can do for you? What was that exchange with the nobleman about? I heard you guys arguing in the last video. He looks up from polishing his tankard and glowers at the Lord. Oh, folk around here's decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in, go talk to him yourself. Okay, I already talked to him. I just wanted to get your side of the story. Tell me about Lord Heron's daughter. He frowns and shrugs. Well, his lordship says she up and went missing the other day. He wipes a tankard with his ragged towel, twisting it with swift, jerking motions. I don't know any more than that. However these lording bastards handle their affairs ain't no business of mine. I have a little bit of money here. Perhaps you could make it your business. He scowls at you. Put them coppers away, Orlin. My pay come from an honest day's work. Enough for me and should be enough for anyone. But you're just like that lord, rattling your purse like it's fit to buy the leaves of gods and kith. What do you mean about Lord Harrenden buying the leave of gods and kith? Look, I don't want no trouble from you or him or anybody else. I'm just waiting for him to tire of my ale and leave so things can get back to normal around here. Look, I won't stand by and allow an innocent girl to come to harm. Help me find her. He leans on the bar and sighs. All right, that girl, Elise. She was looking to disappear. You should have seen her, watching the door like a sheep at slaughter. All the same, she didn't hardly speak to no one. Only folk I seen her talk to's Trigil. He nods at the east window. His shop's by the broken tower. Bit of a hothead, that one. My advice is to let the matter drop. Like I say, it don't profit to dig around in other people's business. All right. Never mind about that. I want to talk about something else now. I have some general questions about Dyrford. Perhaps you can give me the entire history of your town. He runs his rag around the rim of a mug. All right, ask. Have you seen an Orlin called Nyfre? You seem to really enjoy Orlins. I noticed by the tone of your voice earlier. I'm sure you would remember seeing an Orlin named Nyfre. I take it you're a friend of hers. He jerks his head at the stairs. Twitchy lady, that one. I see. I'll check upstairs then. So who else lives in Dyrford? Not many anymore. Hard to keep people around when everyone's here birthing Hollowborn. When everyone here's birthing Hollowborn. But we got a few who stick around and do business. Trigil's the leather courier. Hendina crafts potions, and Winfrith trades in general goods. Rumbald's a pig farmer. Or was, anyway. Something happened to Rumbald's pigs, I take it? Damn ogre carried them off. Now he squeals more than his herd ever did. It's rotten luck. What's Hendina's story? The lady's a clever hand with potions and poultices. Got herself into trouble with a nest of worms, or so I hear. Her cart's on the east end of town. What about, Winfrith? Winfrith's been around even longer than I have. Nice enough fellow, but never could find his way to the end of a sentence. His shop's across the square. I don't know what that means. Tell me about Trigil. You said he was a hothead before. Oh, he's a courier. Treats leather and makes armor and a few other goods with it. Problem is, the smell of tallow and deer shit tends to put people off their food, and his shop's right next door. Oh, I feel like you should make a claim with the local zoning board about that. Let's get back to my previous questions. You said you don't see many travelers. Of course not. Why would they come here? We got bandits on the road and an ogre in the forest. As that yapping fool Rumbald'll tell you. Worse yet, hasn't been a healthy child born here in over a year. Most kith that come here is just passing through. You mentioned an ogre? You don't hardly see 'em this close to town. Ogres and kith don't mix well. Ugly bastards, but they're smart enough to know that much. They're smart enough to know that they're ugly. You want to know more, talk to Rumbald. His farm's southwest of here. Okay, thanks for the info. I don't want any food and drinks. What is the point of ordering food and drinks? We got some new information. Dengler explained that Elise had become acquainted with Trigil, the local courier. We've already talked to Trigil, so we don't need any more than that. But we are going to head upstairs and find this fugitive Orlin. People don't like Orlans in these parts. Who's coming up the stairs? It's not him, don't worry. Ooh. I found her. Let's barge into the room. Barge. The Orlan hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? What are you talking about? The man leaning against the wall glances out the door and nods to the Orlan. The hand over her weapon relaxes, but she's still watching you closely. Some old friends from Defiance Bay are looking for me. We're not exactly friends anymore if you catch my drift. I'm just trying to lie low and mind my own business, know what I mean? The hooded Amawa says, "Boss?" And Amawa looks at the Orlan and jerks his head at you. Boss? Why is he saying boss? Is he saying, oh, there's two other people in the room? All right, Nyfre says. She raises a hand to the Amawa before turning back to you. My friend here thinks you could maybe help us out. Now I'm sure you're a busy man, so I'll make it worth your time. She flips you a few coins. Just go take a look around town. Come back and let me know if the coast is clear, or if you see any, suspicious figures. You're pretty suspicious. What's this about? She scratches the back of her neck. I may have gotten myself into trouble with some powerful people in Defiance Bay. Powerful criminal people. I suppose it was bound to happen eventually. I'm a thief by trade, and it's hard to do my kind of business in the city, without crossing them eventually. Now I'm just trying to put some distance between us. Wait, where's my option to side with you? Well, I'll report back if I find anyone skulking in a corner and cackling maniacally. I've met Nyfre. She's upstairs at the Dracogen Inn, and she's trying to elude her pursuers. I haven't sent her to Medreth or warned her away. Yet. I'll be back in a minute. This painting portrays the expansive foothills below the mountains of White March. Hello. A couple of Kickstarter NPCs. Hello, I'm barging into everybody's room. Is that okay? Hey, can I steal your stuff? I'll take it. A scroll of rolling flame. Sounds like something my wizard would like. Oh, this one needs a lockpick. Nothing very exciting in it for needing a lockpick. I should close the door so nobody knows I was there. Alright, let's go back and see if we can... I kind of wanted to side against the crime family.
Well met, friend.
How's it look out there? See anything suspicious? Well, before I answer that, do you know anything about Elise Herond? That girl everyone's looking for? She was already missing by the time I got to town. Okay, well, who are you running from? I'd rather not get into it. Suffice to say, I angered the wrong people back in Defiance Bay. Alright, Nyfre, well, this is your lucky day. I'm gonna help you out. You need to go east, because there's a guy named Medreth who's waiting for you just west of the river. She nods slowly. Alright, I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. That should buy me some more time. She follows the hooded figures towards the stairs, giving you a final uncertain glance as she passes through the door. I told Nyfre where Medreth was hiding, and she gave him the slip. As a final favor, she asked me to send him off in another direction to buy her more time. Let's go, everyone. Let's give Nyfre more time to escape. We don't know Nyfre, but she seems... like... I don't know, she just seems more trustworthy. I mean, how much can you trust a crime family?
Fetching feathers, lass.
Repeat, please, in Adiran. And stand closer so I can grab your neck if you said what I think you did.
That was Isilmir. She likes your feathers.
Thanks, but I'm not interested, Isilmir.
I don't think she thinks that was really Isilmir talking. Yeah, I don't know if the Doemenel crime family is all that trustworthy. I'm gonna quick save in case they attack me. Medreth.
Welcome.
Found Nyfre yet? I'm ready to get out of here. Well, she snuck out the back of the inn and she went north. You can find her north. Definitely north. Not west. Definitely north. He squints at you, pulling the grass into two flimsy threads. Did she now? And how would you have known that? I was just hoping you'd believe me. Medreth draws his blade. Don't worry, I'll catch up to her, right after I take care of you. Okay, they're fighting. I knew it would come down to a fight. It's a fight to the death. Oh, taxes collected. Oh man, I lost 258 coppers to bandits. That's not cool. Oh, let's see what kind of spells my new cipher has. Fractured Volition. Well, let's do a Puppet Master. 2 ciphers. Oh man, this is too cool. Wow, she casts her spells a lot faster than I do. Damn. Oh, she has a jingly bell's arms. Oh, she casts her spells without me even. What is her AI set to? Let's do a crowd control. Defensive. Okay, she's running into the middle of the battle. Okay, that's not really what we want you to do there. Grieving woman, that's not a great idea. Maybe come back out here. This dwarf is casting spells. There we go. Ah, they're running around in circles. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. I don't know why all my guys are just standing around doing nothing. You guys were just standing there while I was fighting all by myself. What is the matter with you? Well, you obviously had it under control. Wow, there's a bunch of stuff here. We have a nice, fine brigandine, fine leather armor. Bunch of gold. Well, I told Nyfre where Medreth was waiting. So are we gonna see her again, I guess? Well, I guess we've made a powerful enemy of the crime syndicate, so that should be fun. And, let's go talk to Nyfre. We haven't talked to Nyfre yet. And where's the pig farmer? Where's this pig farmer? This looks like a pig farming sty here. Damn Gallowin for monsters like that, and damn the rest of the gods too. Are you Mr. Rumball? Did you lose some pigs? A man paces angrily in front of a wrecked animal pen, his sun-weathered face twisted with ire. He's so wrapped up in his fury that he doesn't seem to notice you. Gallowayne's slobbering beast, blazing bloody effigy, thrice damn salty wench and her soggy... What's wrong? Oh, that monster stole my pigs, that's what's wrong. Traipsed into the village, tore down my pen, and made off with the whole damn herd. Just left a few little runts, and what am I supposed to do with them? What are you talking about? An ogre moved into the area not too long ago. Folks have been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the wood, but it seemed to be staying away from town. Or so we all thought until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid it's going to develop a taste for kith. If it hasn't already. Well, what do you mean to do now? I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but it'd set my mind at ease to see that thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, you bring its ugly pate to me, and I'll trade you for something that's of less use to a farmer like me than to a rowdy-looking sort like yourself. What do you know about the ogre? It's the same as any other, I'm sure. A big ugly son of a bitch with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Trigil could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the wood. You can find him in his shop right by the broken tower. So, I'm looking for a young noblewoman named Elise. Have you seen her? How many times do I have to repeat myself? I already told those snooping guards I haven't seen her, but that hasn't kept them from nosing around my property. Okay, never mind. I'll go talk to the other guy. I think I've already talked to this guy. He's already told me about the ogre. Claims the ogre ran off with Elise, as if we believe him for 1 second. All right, you despicable person, you. I have some confirmation that you might possibly be right about the ogre. Rumbald mentioned something about an ogre. He's hardly talked about anything else since those pigs of his went missing. The whole town's been worried about that monster. People are starting to see shapes in their windows at night, hearing its growl and the snoring of their mates. It would put a lot of minds at ease if someone got rid of it. He scrapes at red pigment under his fingernails. I sometimes venture into the wilderness, collecting ingredients for my dyes, mind you. I've seen tracks east of here near the river. That couldn't have been anything else. Okay, what's in that collapsed tower anyway? Oh, it's collapsed. Nothing is in it. He rolls his eyes and shrugs. A few hides on stretching racks and the tallow stench of danglers always grumbling about. The rest of the keep's dust, just like the fool lady Thanu who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the inn who'll tell you the whole blazing story if you want to hear it. Okay. I guess I'm off to fight an ogre. Off to fight the town ogre. And rescue the damsel in distress. Like the tales of old. Like a Grimm's fairy tale. Quick saving. So, I guess we are, in fact, going to Dyrford Crossing. But wait, before we go to Dyrford Crossing, I just realized I want to make Dyrford Crossing the subject of its own video. So, I'm going to go back to the inn and talk to the bard and hear the tale of Dyrford Village. The grand tale of Dyrford Village and the collapsed tower. Hello, Miss Bard Lady. Miss Bard Lady Sid.
Hail and well met.
Hey, are you back to hear about the founding of the inn? Sure, let's have it. Pelagina rolls her golden eyes and exhales for an excessively long time through her nose. It was built. The inn, that is. It was built in the time of Hadret's rebellion. An Aediran lady, Thenu, once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the Empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadret's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thenu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place while the locals built their new town. What do you mean it was supposed to be? I take it something went wrong. Oh wait, let me ask you what a Lady Thenu is, because I have no idea what a Lady Thenu is. A Thane, or Thenu, is a man or woman who's part of the military elite. A knight, if you will. Typically, the position is inherited. A Lord Thane, or Lady Thenu, owns land and also commands several unlanded Thanes. The woman who last held the keep here came from a long line of landed Thanes. Alright, go on. Deerwoodens are an ornery lot, and the more these new neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't agree on much besides ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glanfathans and their nearby ruins. Hadret's Knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings, meaning anarchists, that had formed... A group of misfits with more anarchic leanings that had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lord. Soon, the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Aedirans. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other soldiers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the Guided Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glanfathan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. She points to the east wall. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. Well, I want to hear about the Broken Stone War. That was the first major conflict between the original Aediran settlers and the Glanfathans. Happened 3 years into the colonization, when some farmers knocked over an Adra menhir that was part of an Engwithan ruin. The war didn't last long, but it spread quickly and claimed thousands. In the early weeks, most of the colonists didn't even realize there was a war going on, until the Glanfathan raiders hit their villages. There'd been small, spontaneous skirmishes between the colonists and the locals before then, but this was organized, and it was the start of decades of violence between the colonists and the Glanfathans. As you can see, Dyrwood's full of history, even in little villages like this one. Indubitably. Tell me about the War of Black Trees. Well, the War of Black Trees started in the colonial days, almost 30 years after the Broken Stone War. Even though isolated conflicts still broke out between the settlers and the Glanfathans, both sides had officially agreed to peace. Edrang Hadret, Admeth's father, was Gref at the time. As part of peace negotiations, he'd signed treaties prohibiting Aediran colonists from looting Engwithan ruins. However, he'd been unable to outlaw the use of captured Glanfathans as slaves. You used a funny word again. What's a Gref? Gref is the governor of a colony and is subservient to the Aediran Emperor. The early leaders of the Aediri colony in the Dyrwood, including Adrang and Admeth Hadret, were Grefs, or governors. I don't know why I'm saying Gref instead of governor, but apparently it just makes it sound cooler. Anyway, at the start of the War of Defiance, Admeth Hadret declared himself Duke of an independent Dyrwood rather than Gref of the Emperor's colony. It was the same term used for leaders of the newly independent Valian republics. Anyway, we haven't had a Gref since. I see. Indeed, the taking of Glanfathan slaves had continued to be a source of conflict. Well, I would imagine so. Well, it came to a head when Imperial agents, aided by certain earls in the Dyrwood, began looting the ruins again. See, the Empire had never actually agreed to Hadret's treaties on the matter, and the recent secession of the Valian republics likely left them eager to weaken Hadret's position. I'm really not following any of this. I'm just reading what the text says on the screen, but go on. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign among the Glanfathans. Adrang Hadret was too old to lead forces into battle, and so he sent his son Admeth. Admeth made a costly but effective decision that ended the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He burned the forest near the Isk-Ian River to keep the Glanfathan warbands from retreating. A wise decision to burn that forest near that funny-sounding river. Well, thousands of Glanfathans died, and as Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months, he wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, over 150 years later, there are still sections of the Dyrwood where the trees are nothing but bare, charred trunks. Well, I guess that's why they call it the War of Black Trees, 'cause they burnt all the trees. Well, farewell. Well, that wasn't actually as long of a story as I was expecting, but it was pretty long. A bunch of lore that I didn't really understand. Alright, I'm gonna stop here and might possibly rest. No, I don't need to rest. Next time I'm gonna head out to the Dyrwood Crossing and look for an ogre and whatever else I might find out in the wilderness, and I will test the mettle of my level 7 party in this new area of the world. See you later.